Hi, I'm going to show you how to draw this cute little dapper penguin today. So my penguin has a hat and a little cane, and there's some curtains behind it. Your penguin can have different accessories. You can do whatever you want. This is what I'm going to show you how to do. So my penguin is kind of right in the middle of my paper. And the first thing I want to do is draw the shape of this penguin body. So I'm going to come here and down to the edge of the paper, and here and down to the edge of the paper. My penguin is pretty fat. It's a nice little rotund penguin, and that's exactly what I want. And then I'm going to put this head on him, and it's going to be nice and round again, because we need to fit the whole penguin face in there. So that's what we've got so far. It's kind of like the top of a snowman. Pretty simple. So right here at this little neck joint, I want you to do a bow tie. And the bow tie is pretty simple. So we're gonna draw like a little rounded square. And then off of that square, we just wanna come up and make two. It's kind of the shape of like a beaver tail. So we're gonna make these two little shapes that come up off of that bow tie, and then I'm gonna give it a couple of little fabric wrinkles there. So that's gonna help it look like that bow tie is tied nice and tight. And then we can put the little shirt part of our penguin suit in. So we can come off of that bow tie, down like this, and down like this. So that's our shirt, pretty simple. And then my penguin has on this shirt, like this little button shirt. So it's buttons. So it's just a little circle. Oh, sorry about the sneeze. A little circle and a line. Wow, sneezy time. Sorry. Okay. Another circle and a line. Another circle and a line. Now I'm running off my page. I'm going to put one more circle. One more line. So that's my penguin's little buttons. And now we can work on its face. And I know that I'm going to go paint this with watercolor later, so I'm going to put this here to rest my hand on. We want our penguin to kind of have this inner piece of its face and body that is white. So I'm going to come up, I'm going to kind of follow this right in the middle of that head, curving down. And same thing on the other side. So I'm going to come up, and then I'm going to go, follow the contour of that head, and then come down to that little widow's peak in the middle. Now, eyeballs, we want to be roughly the same size, right? So I'm going to do one circle here, one circle here, and hopefully those are kind of the same size. And then I'm going to put another circle inside them, and then a little circle for the glare in my penguin's eye. So I want each of those circles to be sort of the same size and the same shape. So there's my penguin's eyes. And this part is going to be dark. So this part will all be colored in. And you can do that with marker or paint or whatever you want, but I like to just kind of scribble it in so I remember later which circle is which. Alright. So there's our penguin so far. So now I'm going to put a little beak on him, and this beak, the top is straight. You can kind of curve down and come up into a little smile, and then do another little smile. So that's my little smiley penguin beak. Now is where you can get creative. I'm gonna go top hat and cane. You can do whatever you want. My top hat is gonna be come up and I'm gonna go out just a little bit here and out just a little bit here, and then I'm gonna kind of do, it's almost like I'm drawing the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile, because it's kind of like we come up but then we curve down and come right back up, but we want to kind of go down as we hit that hat. So that's the brim of the hat. And then the top of the hat is slightly arched, and we make this really long leaf shape, and that looks like the top of our hat. And then whatever you want your penguin's hat to look like, I'm gonna put a little ribbon on mine. So he's gonna have just this little decorative edge on that hat. So there's our top hat. And then because this flipper is holding our top hat up, we're gonna start right about even with this second button. And I'm gonna come up and I'm stopping at the hat, and then right at that little socket, and I'm coming back up there. So there is our first flipper. And I'm going to kind of be showing the two different sides of the flipper. So I'm going to put this little contour line right here, and that would be optional for you. Now I'm going to give my penguin a cane and his other little flipper. So for the cane, this is pretty easy. We just make two lines that come down. Now you could give yours a fancier cane if your penguin is ritzier than mine, but I'm just gonna put like the little handle on the top. So there's the top of my penguin's cane. It could also be a flower, maybe, I guess, if you wanted it to. And then since this flipper here is holding, since this flipper is holding the cane, I'm gonna go around and come down here, and then down and back around. And then we can also do the little contour on this one that comes like this. It would be too easy if I dropped my pen on the part that's gonna be black. All right, so this is the basic penguin. Now what I'm gonna do is add like some folds of fabric behind them. So fold number one is gonna go like this, and it's gonna have some little fabric folds like that, and then I'll have some coming kind of from the other direction too. So this is just our very fancy little curtain that's behind our penguin at his penguin party. And then we'll have another one kind of coming from this direction. You can swoop up. And swoop down. And I've taped the edges of my paper. I know that I'm going to come in and use watercolor later, so I wanted to have tape on it already. Alright, and then I'm going to go up, and we have this one final drape of fabric that just comes right behind his hat. And same thing, we're going to have these fabric folds. It's kind of like when I draw lines on trees. I just make them wherever I think they go. And that's my drawing. So there's my penguin. And I'm going to go ahead and sign. And then I'm going to paint this penguin. If you've just finished in pencil, you can go ahead and go back over with your black marker. And then once you finish with your fine lining, if that's what you choose to do, I'm going to go back in and I'm going to erase my pencil lines. That way I'll have a good clean drawing to start with when I go in to paint. So I'm just going to get rid of all my pencil lines. Sometimes I draw with my marker in a different place than I initially planned and put my pencil line. That's all just part of the creative process. I put the pencil lines down there just to give myself an idea of what I might do. Sometimes I make little creative changes when I go in and I'm using my marker. So there's no right or wrong. This is your penguins. You can do whatever you want. I have this giant brush that I'm just going to sweep all this eraser off with. That helps to keep my hand oils off the paper, which will make my paint stick to the paper better. One more little pencil line that I missed. And maybe a little bit in his eyes that I missed also. Alright. So now your penguin is ready to color. Whether you're going to paint it or color it in with crayon, marker, whatever you want to do. Alright, so I sped it up really quickly so I can explain to you what's going on. I've decided this penguin isn't Mardi Gras. So it's got some purple and gold and green curtains in the background. And then I added just a nice light aqua background. Maybe this penguin is on a parade float. In any event, here we go with that nice orange beak. And I went with a dark blue-green for that bow tie and the hat ribbon. The hat and the penguin are all going to be black, but it's kind of a watered down black, so it's not a deep, dark, solid black, maybe more of a charcoal. That way, I can go back in and use the really dark, thick black on the cane and the penguin's eyeballs. So there we have it, full of personality, our precious Dapper penguin.